Um, First, though, how did chapter 6 go? I realized that even though I posted them on a playlist, I didn't put a link in to that playlist specifically in Edpuzzle, but the link for general videos worked. Was everybody able to find the chapter 6 videos? Yeah. Okay. So the general videos link is still there, and all the playlists are there. But as of this morning, I added the link to the actual playlist for chapter 6. Okay. So your exam is on Wednesday, right? On the 6th, or is it the 8th? It's the 8th, right? My 114 is the 6th. Okay, it's on Friday. All right, so your exam is on Friday. This is the structure that I'm envisioning, and I'm totally up to suggestions. So the exam is going to come out to you by email. Okay, so make sure by your Bridgewater email. So make sure that you have access to that at around 9 a.m. So the way it's going to look is it's going to just be 1 or 2 pages of questions. And I'm foreseeing about 7 questions plus or minus 1 with a bonus. Okay. So if they're just going to be written out, there's not going to be any room for write your answers, because I cannot assume that everybody has a printer. I don't want everybody to print. So instead, you're going to have pieces of paper. For question 1, you're going to use page 1, question 2 on page 2, question 3 on page 3. So think about kind of needing to have about, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 pages available. Okay. At the beginning, there's going to be an intellectual honesty statement that you're going to have to write out. As future teachers, I am assuming that I can trust everybody to provide me with their own work, not with the work of a friend, not with the work of a website where you copy and paste from a website kind of a thing. So at the beginning of the paper of the first question, you're going to write a statement and sign it and say, this is my work. I did not receive or offer or give any help to anybody else. Okay. It's fine. It is an open book exam. So it's fine to go through the textbook. It's fine to go through our notes. It's even fine to go watch my videos during that time. What I'm not, what I'm expecting that we will not have any of is people communicating about it. Kind of, this is not a group exam, right? It's not a partner exam. It is your own. Also, ask.com or question.com or any of those other websites. I'm assuming that those, or expecting that those are off limits. But what I can tell you is that they're also not very good for what we do. They're more likely, much more likely to lead you astray than to actually provide a useful answer, because they're not using the kind of thinking, the kind of information that we use in this course. So first of all, I just don't think it'd be helpful. But secondly, I'm just going to say that please do not use external websites that we haven't used in class. So anyway, you write that out and you will scan and email it to me as a single PDF, right? By 7 p.m. Okay, so 9 a.m. is out, 7 p.m. back into me. It's not a 10-hour exam. It's if I'm expecting somebody to just sit down and write it, I would expect about an hour and a half. Okay. Usually that's the way I do the finals, because then there's a little bit of extra time that if you need to go over it, et cetera, and we're scheduled for 2 hours. Okay. Any questions? Is there a problem? First of all, is there a problem with a 9 a.m. start? Does anybody want it out earlier? I can do it. I can send it out earlier as well. But if anybody needs it out earlier, let me know. Okay, just send me an email and then I will send it out at the earliest request. And same thing with the 7 p.m. I'd like to have it back by 7 p.m. because after that, I get wrapped up in bedtime and all that other stuff. So I'd like to be able to see them all come in by then. Okay.
So it's going to be, you said 7 questions?
7-ish, plus or minus 1.
7-ish? Okay. Um, are the questions like, I don't know if I can ask about the questions, but like, will they be like from each like chapter or?
Good question. Yeah. So my idea is so first of all, on Piazza just about 20 minutes ago, I posted the spring 2019 midterms, because I usually, when we have a normal semester, I do a group and an individual. So I've posted both of those with student solutions. So the student solutions are, when I see a really good answer from a student, I photocopy it and then I include it in the solution packet. So it's a good idea for you to look at them to say, well, those are the solutions that students gave me that I thought were really good and were worth full points. Okay, so that's a really good way to take a look at that. Also, you'll get to see the kinds of questions that I generally ask in normal semesters. Okay. This year, what's going to be different is that I will stick a little bit closer to our textbook problems. They're not going to be exact, but they'll be close. And we did 6 chapters. We have 7-ish questions. So I'm expecting that there will be at least one question from each chapter, plus or minus a couple of wildcards. Okay, so they might be like 2 from chapter 3 or 2 from, or like, there might be a question specifically from the fraction handout that isn't a chapter, but yeah. Okay. Any other questions on the format of the exam? Please do go to Piazza and take a look at the exams that I've posted from last semester's.
For each question, how much do you want us to like write for them?
Take a look at the solutions.
Yeah. Okay.
Those would be really good. Yeah. So I don't need like a perfect essay with perfect grammar and introductory thesis statement, the body with the 3 arguments and et cetera, et cetera. That's not, we're not in a writing course. But I do need explanations. So it's got to be at that conceptual level, right? And if you're talking about procedures, they need to be, if I'm asking for an explanation, it needs to be explained. That explanation could be a picture or a drawing or a diagram or a label or bullet points or anything like that, but there needs to be an explanation of sorts.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, but take a look. Those solutions from the students are really, really helpful. That's why I do them that way, is so that you don't get to see my answers to those questions. You get to see what I thought were really good student answers. Okay. Anything else in terms of the final? Okay, so let me ask you in terms of the materials. So chapter 6, any questions on chapter 6? So we're getting into division. So chapter 6 and the last part of the fractions handout. Okay. All right. The chapter 8, with the technology issues that I was having with chapter 6, we're going to leave that chapter 8. Chapter 8 is one of those that usually I get to it if there's an opportunity, if there's time remaining at the end. Chapter 8. It's kind of in between the 114 material because chapter 7 and 9 are 114. So it sometimes floats between the 112 course and the 114 course. So, it's not unusual that we don't get to it by the end of the semester. So don't worry about it too much. It's just the idea of divisibility and the divisibility rules, right? And the greatest common multiples and greatest common factors, those kinds of things. Least common multiple, greatest common factor. The current grade that you guys received, right? So there are a couple of things that I want to tell you about. One is that those grades any progress grades don't include the dropped lowest tickets to leave or the above and beyond vouchers. Okay, so The reason is that I send this one out to you. There's still a lot of movement afterwards, usually, and I'll tell you about the assignment, but usually people come in and they ask and they say, no, you know, you misrecorded this, or, you know, I actually got that on something. So there's a lot of movement. So with all the bonus points, I calculate them at the end. Okay, after everything comes in. So, but you can expect that if you have a low ticket to leave point because you a grade because you've missed a couple of days face to face, that's going to go up because I'm going to drop the lowest 3. Okay, I promised to do that at the beginning of the semester. You know, you guys were making decisions based on that promise, so that's going to stay, and I'm going to drop the 3 lowest tickets to leave. Also the above and beyond vouchers. If you accrue, when you accrue, the above and beyond vouchers that you accrued will go into the final grade as well. Okay. And finally, with the assignments. So I've had a handful of students who have reached out to me to asking to go over the assignment. And what I do is I literally open up my share screen. We'll do it one-on-one, but I open up the share screen and the Blackboard, and then we go through the assignment and the grades that I gave on the rubric and where those issues were. And some of those students have requested if they could correct those issues and resubmit the assignment. And that was fine with me. I care that we learn, not kind of necessarily what the deadline is, especially in this crazy semester. So if you're interested in improving especially your second assignment grade, then book a time email me and we'll touch base on Zoom. We'll go through your assignment and then you'll have an opportunity to fix those gaps that were there, okay? But just reach out to me by email and we can do that. All right. And I think that's all I had. Yes, for today in terms of announcements. Oh, one more announcement. 114 in the summer one, so the first to summer, is running. It's got 13 students right now. It's going to go. Sometimes summer courses don't always go because there are few students. So if you're interested in doing 114 in the summer, so if you're in LED, anytime after 112, you can do either 113 or 114 first. So feel free to register this if you're interested in doing something in summer one. The format is going to be Monday mornings we'll meet once a week. And then the rest will be similar to kind of what we did this semester, except instead of just having YouTube videos, I'm going to import those videos into Edpuzzle. And instead of just kind of having you balance between the activity book and the video and all of that, I'm going to provide more support with that. So the Edpuzzle will stop the video and ask you to kind of complete a problem, and then it will keep going. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit more structured in terms of videos because we're all actually signing up for this, unlike this semester. So, but it's going to be a similar feel. Okay, and I'm toying with the idea of doing 113 online in the fall, fully online, whether we get back or not. So, any questions, concerns, comments, ideas?
So if we're making corrections, do you want that done before Friday?
The deadline I've been giving people is the 12th, so the last day of finals, because I have to get the grades in. Yeah. Any other questions? Everybody okay? All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to hang out here for a while if you guys have any more questions. But it was an awesome ride with you guys. I appreciate your flexibility and your kind of being able to balance all of this in a really, really amazing way. You guys, this is going to be one for the history books, I'm sure, in terms of the craziness of the semester. But hang in there. if I see you guys with whether on a Zoom session or so for the next little while, that's great. But if I don't do well on the final, just keep thinking, right? Just keep thinking, and you will, you've done a lot this semester, and you guys can do it. And then stay in touch, all right, and have a good summer.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
You have a good one.
Yeah.